Problemista is written and directed by Julio Torres, and it stars Julio Torres and Tilda Swinton. It is a movie about an aspiring toy designer who moves to New York and is trying to get a work visa so he can stay in the United States, but finding a job is not as easy as it seems, and he has to work with Tilda Swinton's character so that he can try to gain some sort of work visa to stay in the United States and follow his dreams. That's kind of the backdrop of the film, and kind of diving right into it, this movie has a very unique world that it sets itself in. Julio Torres did a great job with that world building and making it feel very unique and 100% itself. And once it establishes that tone, it never breaks away from it, and it does a great job of kind of letting you know, like, this is the type of movie this is, and it maintains that through and through, while also having depth, emotion, and resonant themes throughout the runtime. Now, with that world comes some wild swings that I think most of them work. Particularly, the fucking funniest thing in this movie is how they portray Craigslist. I'm not going to say anything about how. Oh my God, I could not stop laughing every time Craigslist happens in the movie. It's amazing. But with those big swings and hits like Craigslist, it doesn't always knock it out of the park. There are a couple times where I kind of get taken out of it, of just like, okay, I see what they're going for, but it's losing me a bit. But then, you know, later in the movie, I would get hit right back into it. So I'm a bit all over the place, but I'll break it down for you. In terms of positives, the story is very interesting. The toys that he wants to design are really fucking funny. The movie's really funny. And Julio Torres gives a great performance. Tilda Swinton gives a great performance. And there's also this backdrop. I'm not going to spoil it too much, but there's this backdrop of like this place that he works for briefly that like rich people can do for their bodies. I'm trying to be vague, but like it seemed so not far out of reach. Like I could see this happening in the real world one day, and it was just like, oh man, I think we're only just a couple years away from that. Not only is it funny, not only is the story very interesting, the script itself is also very well written. There are a couple times where you can tell that this is a first-time feature director, but with that being said, the amount of swings that are taken as a first-time feature director are amazing, and like I mentioned earlier, most of them hit. The movie does have a bit of a pacing issue. It's not a very long film. It's only about an hour and 44 minutes, and it does feel a bit longer in certain places. But overall, I really enjoy this film, and I know that there's going to be some conversation about the ending of the movie, and not even the ending, but just like the lesson that the character learns at the end of the movie. I think some people are going to take that lesson the wrong way, and which is upsetting, because I could even hear some of the chatter at the screening I was at of some people kind of taking the wrong lesson, and I'm like, oh man, I hope a lot of people kind of don't take this lesson away, because in being vague, I think the movie is going to think it's rewarding a certain type of behavior, and I don't think that that's what the movie is doing. The movie has a great message about, you know, even if you come from a risky place and you have risks that you need to take and you're trying to maintain yourself, you still need to stand up for yourself. And I think that was kind of the overall message of the movie, and I hope that that gets taken by people when they eventually see the film. The movie also sheds a really good light on, you know, immigrating to America and how messed up the work visa situation is, because you have to pay money in order to apply to get a work visa, but you can't earn money legally because you don't have the work visa. And it's a whole thing that I didn't know, and the film does shine a good light on it. It helps drive the story forward with the struggles of this character. And some of the only negatives I'd give the film, other than some of the swings it takes don't necessarily hit, and some of them kind of get a little bit too outlandish or lose its movie magic because the scenes are playing out too long. Other than that, I think the only negative of the film is an opportunity presents itself in the movie for his problems to be temporarily solved. And they address it head on. Like, hey, if you do this, like, your problem could be solved. And I think what the movie was going for was the character going through making a choice of, yes, this could solve my problem, but my passion is still this, so I'm going to do this. And I don't think the movie well established enough that assessment of risk, of this could solve my problem, but I'm going to do this. It kind of just is presented as this could solve your problem, and then it's never addressed that that was a choice for the character. When I was watching it, I was like, okay, they're going to tie that back. They're going to go back to that, and then they just don't. And I was like, oh, okay. So I think other than that, I thoroughly enjoyed this film. I thought that it was really funny, really original. I hope that this film makes money. Unfortunately, it probably won't just because of how things work. But, you know, for a lot of people to call for, like, we need original movies, this is an original movie. So please spend your money to go watch the original movie so we can get more like it. When you guys do watch it, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Please leave them in the comments below. And thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.